From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hello everyone, meteorologist Mike Kruger here, and you know what a difference a day makes, right? Much quieter out there today, but despite the fact that we're seeing the rain and the storm system move on out of here, cooler air is still in place. And it's going to be another beautiful, mild day out there today. So that's what we expect here for today. Now, temperatures will be a little bit warmer as we go into next week, the first half of next week. But we should keep those temperatures below normal and keep them, of course, below 100 degrees in the valley. Now, it is going to be cooler by the end of next week with, the possibility for some more showers in the forecast. We'll get into that in more detail here in a second. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance for today. Staying in the 80s for the valley, 70s, low 80s for many of the higher elevations. The coast, of course, seeing some clearing this afternoon as well. All right, so let's take a look at those winds. And of course, that's obviously an area of concern. We got to watch the winds still, despite the fact that we just saw some rain, and not to mention the humidity levels. So the winds, nothing really alarming. Still a bit breezy off to the east into Lassen County, eastern Modoc County. That'll be the case again on Monday, but again, nothing alarming, and you can see here, especially for the valley, westward, winds really aren't that bad, right? And then as we go into your Tuesday, kind of the same situation. We're just not seeing those winds really ramp up. We're not seeing a major wind event. But again, just kind of keep in mind with the lower humidity and those winds still a bit breezy, there's still some elevated fire risk here off towards the east and northeastern portions of the state, and in particular in those higher elevations. So we look at the humidity levels, and they were pretty good yesterday, but they're dropping back down into the single digits and teens for the valley. Then as we go into your Monday, it'd probably be about the same. Single digits and teens for the valley, getting even lower off to the north and east out into Modoc County. We take into your Tuesday, same situation. Continue with those dry conditions. But again, the key is, for the most part, we're keeping it in the teens, not necessarily a lot of those single digit relative humidity levels. This is an indication of the fact that temperatures are not as hot, and as a result, we do typically see those relative humidity levels inch up a little bit higher as a result, and that makes things just a notch higher, better conditions here for the firefighters as well. When we're talking about obviously the Park Fire, and not to mention the Boise Fire. But the main area of low pressure that brought us the heavy rainfall, the gusty winds, the thunderstorms in some areas, not everyone, that's moving on out of here. But we've got another area of low pressure to our north that's going to be moving in next week, and it's going to be impacting our weather by the middle and latter part of next week. We'll get to that in a second. But there you can see some of the fog that we may see later on this evening along the coast. But for the most part, clearing skies. There are going to be a few clouds coming in on Monday, possibly to the north and west, maybe on Tuesday. But overall, it looks like some clearing even for the coast here, even as we take you into your Tuesday. Now the long range, keeping us dry. But again, something we have to keep our eye on is this area of low pressure right here. This is going to have an impact on our weather in some shape or form by the end of next week. Cooler weather for the most part. The positioning of this low will determine who sees rain, how much rain we see, and whether or not we see rain at all. Because yesterday, this low pressure system on this same forecast model had it over here. Still would equate to cooler temperatures, but not necessarily much in the way of rain. So we're going to have to kind of fine tune the forecast as we get towards the end of next week, and not to mention even next weekend, because we could be looking at the potential for some of those showers lingering on into your Saturday as well. But by next Sunday, next Monday, that kind of moves out. So here's the overall trend you can kind of see. Here's the broad trough of low pressure. Here's the area of low pressure that was down here yesterday. That's what brought us the instability for the showers and thunderstorms for many of us. That has moved up to the north today. It will continue to migrate to the north and east. Now, as a result, as that moves to the north and east, say Monday, Tuesday of next week, and even into Monday, some of this heat here is going to try to build in. So we'll probably see a slight spike in our temperatures upwards as we go into your Monday, Tuesday, and maybe even into Wednesday. But by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this low pressure system moves closer to us. It brings in the cooler air, right? So our temperature is dropping significantly by Friday. I think many of us in the valley by Friday, if this pans out as it is, could struggle to get out of the 70s on Friday. Not to mention, of course, that chance for rain I was talking about. And then this heat, it's being pushed even more to the east over the south central United States. Then we go into next weekend. that pushes on out of here. So we're now losing that source of cool air coming in from the north. And even though this is building in a little bit closer to us, our temperatures will increase as a result, but we're also just kind of seeing some more of that more warmer, more mild air moving in, and this will allow our temperatures most likely to increase toward the end of next weekend into that next week. But for the most part, no major heat waves heading our way. The big heat, as you saw there on the banner, is staying away. All right, so here's your forecast for today. Temperatures mid, maybe some upper 80s in there for today, but bottom line, temperatures will be about 10, maybe 12 degrees below normal in the valley. Mainly 70s in the higher elevations. As you head up to some of the highest elevations, now we're talking 60s, and of course you can see in Alturas about 81, but temperatures in the low to mid 60s along the coast. So we look at your 7-day outlook, starting off with the valley, and you can see temperatures are staying below normal. The normal high in the valley, about 97, 98. We're going to get up to the kind of the peak of next week's warming trend, or yeah, that's not a quote, but I was going to say heat wave, but is low 90s for Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And then we see the dip in our temperatures by Thursday, and look at that, as I mentioned, struggling to get out of the 70s, if at all, by Friday, and then a slight increase by Saturday. Now, for Friday, Saturday, what I'm calling a broad brush forecast as far as the rain is concerned. So everyone, I'm including everyone in this, the coast, inland, the mountains, the valley, all that chance, everyone's seeing a chance for showers Friday, Saturday. This will be much more fine-tuned as we get closer to the end of next week, but you get the idea. The trend is calling for cooler weather by the end of next week and into that next week, and that'll of course include Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and not to mention the Eastern Mountains. That's your afternoon update. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock this evening.